Welcome to Locked In, your source for college football intel. We want to give a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our channel this month. We've had a blast talking football with you. If you enjoy this video and want to see more great content, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Even more, share our videos with your friends. Again, thanks for being locked in. So we want to continue our look at the 2023 SEC Championship game. And we talked in our previous video about the opening drive for Georgia that turned out to be quite a success. They threw the ball to the flats, kept Alabama's defense spread. They got down the field, had a really nice rollout pass that they took advantage of the outside linebackers having to worry about Brock Bowers running underneath motion into the flats. And so they had a really good little comeback pass to Lad McConkey, um, set themselves up for a beautiful 17-yard touchdown run on a inside zone play that was blocked to perfection. And one of the things that we said in introducing that video was that the first drive, it was a little bit of I guess a little bit of a false hope, because you saw Georgia really move down the field methodically. I mean, I mean, as we'd say, just, a bam, bam drive. Everything seemed to be going their way. Now, in this video, we want to look at the second drive, and for everything that was good about the first drive, it all goes away for the second drive, and it turns into a really, I would just describe it as a pitiful 3 and out. I think they kind of shoot themselves in the foot on this first play. So let's go ahead and take a look at it.
So you'll see Alabama has 4 down linemen now instead of 5. They have 2 safeties over top, which you haven't seen yet. So they're back in their cover 2 man like they've ran all year, which gives the linebackers availability to actually play their men and
Mhm.
to be able to come down into the flats now. So you see them playing
Right.
1 yard off and 2 yards off, 3 yards off. They're on the line now. It's a whole different defense that they're running against. And what does Georgia do? Well, let's see if they're still playing the way off the flats and leaving the flats there. So what do? They motion Kendall Milton over to the side that they're going to they're going to throw the ball, and they send him going with you got a puller here from the guard. Get a little action in there to get these linebackers going, get him to take a step inside and get Bowers outside. And you'll see Georgia just be unsuccessful here because, well, looky there. You got 13 still in the flats. Why? Because he has help over top. And not only does he have help, but the other side of the field has help. So you got two halves being covered over top. You don't really have to worry about getting beat over top as much. So he can play down on that line the whole way, especially just playing to the ball right here. He's going to play up on that run, even if it is a run. But he sees Brock go out and Carson pull that ball, and he gets out with Brock and just makes a good play here.
So
I think
earlier,
that,
go ahead.
go ahead, Rev.
Earlier, we saw 13 on the line, off the edge, get caught because he's on the line playing run. He reads pass and he has to get extra yards back, and he's not able to make a play into the flats where he should have been running down towards. Here, you see, and something very, very similar to that same play that we looked at that was successful because of the way that Bama's defense was aligned. This time he has space and he recognizes what's going on. He can read things in front of him because his mind is at one track on run. Yes, he still has to pay attention to it. He still has to read it, but linebackers are taught to read that. But now, because of his alignment and his spacing, one, he's further outside, so that helps him get to the outside. Now, good adjustment from Bama here to change their alignment, to change their set, uh, move their linebackers back to true linebacker position, let them get in a little bit more space, let them use their eyes and use their smarts that they've been taught all year to read this. And as soon as he reads that this ball got pulled, he knows where it's going. He sees the flat, or he sees the guy running into the flats. He knows, hey, this ball is coming right here. And if I miss him, or if this ball goes over top of my head, who cares? I got a safety back there. I got a corner running deep. We'll be fine. This is my guy. And this is kind of what I talked about, that linebackers, when you see, when you're in a zone and you see somebody running outside. So normally it's a running back, but in this case, we're talking about a tight end coming across. when you see that, you go out with that guy. That becomes your responsibility. Yes, you have a hook curl zone area a lot of times, but when you see someone coming out of the backfield rolling on a route, you go up and you're accountable for him. That's exactly what 13 does here. He has the space to do it, he has the time to do it, and he makes a fantastic play. I mean, it was set up for him to make a good play, but nonetheless, it was a great play.
And I have a question there, and that is why would Georgia run this? They come out their first drive, they run for about 30 yards, I'd say, and score a touchdown. Why
Mhm.
would you start off on the 13-yard line of your own end zone and throw on first down? It's like that's so unnecessary. There's no reason for it, especially when you are winning the numbers battle. You are winning the numbers battle
Yes.
completely right here.
Mhm.
The farthest guy off that wouldn't be blocked is 10 yards off the line of scrimmage.
The only thing that I can really think is that from that perspective, you had something similar looking to this play that really worked for you on the first drive. So you're thinking without reading the field, I'm not taking the field into account. Without looking at the field, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to change it up just a little bit. But hey, that play worked before. It's going to work again. They have some miscommunication on the motions. We're going to run something a little bit different, but it's going to have the same effect. What you're not taking into account is that Alabama has changed their defensive set completely. So that one guy who is the trouble spot that you're looking at in that first play, that cannot make that play just because he's too far away. He's not able to make the read quick enough. He's not able to get down quick enough. And on top of that, the safety made a bad play in the previous one. This time, Alabama's ready for this. They're set up for it. They're looking for it. So this is a good adjustment by Alabama and not a good adjustment by Georgia's offensive staff and play calling, because they didn't recognize the fact that Alabama was ready for it this time.
I mean, it's
Well,
obvious the shift of defense as well.
Yep.
You can look at just the way they're lined up with the leverage that they have, what they're running right here. It's pretty obvious, and they just don't have a good play call against it.
well, the thing too that I think you got to say is this is, and my biggest complaint on this play is that although it looks the same, this play is totally different from anything that they've ran, because what this is, so they move the running back to the opposite side, and they have your H and your guard over here going to pull.
Mm-hmm.
So what this is this turns into a what you would call a GH counter, and the idea is that the the running back will cross the quarterback's face. He's going to take the ball across his face. He'll stick his right foot, and then he's going to go someplace between the A gaps to the left guard. And you'll see, like a running lane open up right here. Okay, well, the problems that you have, stop it right here. What should happen on this play, you see 71 there is going to go, he's going to be down on the linebacker. The pulling guard is going to kick the end, and Bowers should come up in the hole and lead, yes, on that linebacker right there. And this is going to be a decent little run play. What's also going to happen is the inside receiver is coming in. See, 13 is looking at him. He's going to come in and make a crack block on him. Now, this is
Yep.
not going to be a big one because 13 already sees what's happening. But what that does is that's going to give the opportunity to get a nice little run here on first down. But instead, what they do is, you hear us sometimes, and you'll hear a lot of times, you'll hear coaches use this phrase, Georgia gets real cute right here.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see how awkwardly that Bowers makes this cut, it becomes very obvious that, I mean, this is a ham-handed, attempt to get the ball to him in the flat again. Okay. Well, let's roll back and think just a second about the first drive. What made Lad McConkey wide open on that comeback on the right sideline on the rollout pass? The fact that Bowers was hit on a motion pass to the flat and ended up getting more than 10 yards on it. And so all of a sudden, the Alabama defensive staff sends word down and they say, hey, we have got to watch Bowers going into the flat. They're going to throw him to the flat, and we're going to be, bailed out in man coverage. He's going to have space to run. If he goes sideways, we have to go sideways with him. And so I guarantee you, number 13, that has been his directive. He's been told to do that. So when Bowers turns right here and goes straight down the line, he has no shot in the world at making this. Now, here's a question I have, and this is something. Maybe this is, maybe this. If some of you want to go back and watch the most recent video that we did on Tennessee's quarterback Nico, they ran a just beautiful variation on the air raid stick. And one of the things that they did was they brought the back through the line. So almost think that if they had committed to running this play, Bowers goes through the line and maybe even behind 13, I think he's wide open. But because of where he's at right now, 13 is he's kind of in the catbird seat. I mean, he can see it all. I mean, he's going to be able to pick this up. And because they ran that counter motion, you'll see later in this film, not on this drive, but in the film in general, Georgia runs a counterplay and Alabama absolutely explodes it. They know what they're doing. And I think that's one of the problems with the play calling is it got very, very predictable. Alabama knew the things that Georgia was going to do. And whenever they did them, they basically just reacted in an over exaggerated manner and blew them up. So right here, I think you see something like that. They all come in here to stop this counterplay, and 13 knows Bowers is going to the flat. I'm going with him. And all of a sudden, where you could have you just ran a 17-yard touchdown on the simplest play in the playbook. And then you go down here and you complicate it. And what you do is you start yourself out second and 13. Now your only hope is try to get something to get back on schedule. You put your offense in a really tight spot, and you've given Alabama a sense of momentum, as opposed to picking up a first down, picking up a 5-yard run that's saying, yep, we can run the ball on you, and we're fixing to go down and make it 14-0. I think this play call was really, really maybe an early nail in the coffin. Did it kill them? No, it didn't kill them. I mean, we're 7:57 in the first quarter. There's no way a play that early is going to kill you that doesn't involve a turnover. But I think that what it did was it really loosened up the grip on Alabama and puts Georgia in a spot where they have to perform, and they're going to have to punt out from under their goalpost basically.
Here again, you see Alabama in the same exact defense, 4-man front. You'll see the motion just to get that read on 13 here, and they should shift, but no, they don't. They go all the way across the field, and what does that tell you? Man indicator right there.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it mean? You see that? They know exactly what they're running, and they still can't make anything work. Why is that? Well, they don't run a play that beats man. They don't have anybody open in time, and Carson Beck has to make a last ditch effort to throw it away, and it gets almost to Ladd, but not quite there. And you got to think, why are they? I mean, I know it's second and 13. But you're on the 10. Fight for the third down, first down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just try to go all out for the first down right here. But what do? They send everybody downfield, and you'll see the running back come out in the flats later. But when he gets out to the flats, he's there now. But what's happening?
Pass rush.
There's pressure. The
Too much
pass
pressure.
rush is
Yes.
there. So he has to get rid of the ball. He's in the end zone. He don't want to get sacked. He don't want to trip and fall down and take a safety. Bad, bad, bad football right there. So he can't allow that to happen. Has to get it away. Ladd has a little bit of space, throws it to Ladd, and it just falls incomplete a little bit ahead of him.
So, something I want you to notice on this one, we talked in the previous video about the safety trying to communicate something to the cornerback, and I said that I believe that he wanted to tell him that hey, we're running 2-man read here. I've got if one comes inside, I've got him. If 2 goes outside, you got him. Remember that. And the corner was locked on and didn't see him trying to signal that calling to him. Well, watch this over here. And one of the things that I want to say, and and I know that I've been on a real Michigan defense kick. right here, Alabama's defense, they're channeling their inner Wolverine. They have gotten into this 4-2-5 look where they can adjust their players to rally help. This 4-2-5 setup with two deep safeties, they can rally help to places that they couldn't in the defense they came out with first. But watch this. This turns into a switch route right here. And watch how the Alabama, roll this one more time and watch how the Alabama defenders handles. Safety drops back 13. Look, 13 picks up number 1 coming inside. The cornerback picks up number 2 going outside. They are covered, both receivers, with a safety over top. And like you said, it leads to a moment of desperation where if McConkey can catch this, this is a great play. And honestly, we expect him to make plays like that. But you're asking a little bit too much whenever you're asking someone to make this play because, like what Chance said, this never had to happen. They should have been fighting to get into third and manageable instead of trying to take it all in one chunk. And you, just like the previous play that landed them in 2nd and 13, this is some bad play calling. That's all you can say. It's bad play calling. You have not adjusted your approach to what the defense is now giving you because defenses will change a lot of times on the second possession after a touchdown. And they have changed greatly, and Georgia doesn't seem to have noticed this. They're just running their plays. And this right here is basically a complete waste on 2nd and 3rd and puts you into a terrible spot as an offense.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed out that switch up top because that's what I wanted to key on. And you pretty much explained it to a T. But something we talk about, we don't see great defenses do, or we don't see elite defenses do. We see good defenses do, is they don't switch out of their man completely. That they don't do this switch call. They don't bump over even when they are playing man. But great defenses, Michigan is one we use for example a lot. They do bump out, and as soon as Carson Beck sees 13 running with 6, in his mind, he's going, okay, this is complete man. 13 is going to be on 6. When I snap this ball, 6 has a better angle and a better head of steam to get through 13, and then it'll be him beating his safety. So in his mind, he's thinking, I've got a one-on-one. There will be some safety help, but I should have a window to be able to throw this ball quickly. And he doesn't because the switch happens. As soon as the corner sees the motion enter into his side, he starts backing off. Why? Because he knows he's going to have the switch. There isn't even very much communication. There's not any hand signals, not anything crazy going on. This has been taught to now, hey, we're switching to this defense now. When you got a guy motioning on your side, you back off your guy and you switch it. When that now happens, okay, he's on the wheel. Corner has better positioning for that. 13 has great positioning on the inside release route. And Carson Beck is looking for a guy open that isn't there. There isn't any space there because they've switched. And now you add on the pass rush. We talk about this all the time, how a good pass rush complements a good secondary, good pass defense. And both things go hand in hand. Secondary does their job. They get in the way of the passing lanes and they get guys on receivers quicker. Switch helped out. You got safeties helping over top. So there's no immediate throw to make. So I'm a massive fan of too high because you protect yourself from over the top stuff. You can't just get bombed on unless your safety does something dumb. And right here, that's what Georgia wants. They want that bomb. They want that one-on-one somewhere. So they either want a quick throw or they want to throw it over the top. Both of them are taken away. So now the quicker stuff that a quarterback can do, like right now, he wants to throw this ball and he can't. He's got to sit with it. So now we're hoping that a guy gets open. Yeah, we got this. You got the running back running down to the flats for 1 yard. That's a check down if we need it. Scanning field. Oh, I've run out of time. So pass defense does their job. Now pass rush can do their job. So, hey, our guys in the backfield, they took care of business long enough. Now we can get home and force a bad throw, force him to make a crazy decision. Now, this is a good job, good effort by him. He almost gets it, but he doesn't. And I mean, that's the difference here is that pass rush and the pass defense was good enough to make an incomplete pass to now transition into a 3rd and 13, where before, if 1st and 10 doesn't get off schedule, you're 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7. We're on schedule. That just means that we're not going back. We're going forward. First down had positive gain, so now you can run a better play on 2nd down. Instead, you had 2nd and 13. They want to get all of it back for whatever reason. I don't. We all three are kind of bewildered by the play calling there. You're on your 10-yard line. That just doesn't make any sense to us, but that's what they do. It doesn't
And
work.
something
Go ahead.
something I want to add too, that this too high structure, because see, I'm like you, I'm completely sold on too high. And the thing that they get to do is it's something that we talked about first in the Michigan Ohio State game and in the Michigan pass defense. Now Alabama does not do this nearly as what I would just say as as efficiently, as beautifully, whatever you want to say, as Michigan does.
Mm-hmm.
But when they drop those linebackers and they have their 4-man rush going forward, when you have the safeties over top, when they cap the offense, those two high safeties, as those linebackers begin to drop into their zones, the window gets very, very tight for a quarterback to put the ball into. And if you look at Beck's face, look at his face mask on that previous play, he is looking down the seam on the left side to begin. Like, just look at him right now. His eyes are right there. He wants 84. He wants McConkey coming through here, and he'll get a chance at him on the other side of the field. But what screws him over right here is the fact that there's a safety sitting right there. And so he doesn't have that quick window to the seam, so he has to watch him go over. Now, this linebacker, it doesn't look like that he's done a lot, but just by sitting here
In the
and
way.
creeping back, he's closing that window, and you're not going to risk that even to your best deep threat. You're not going to risk that throw in this position, so you have to wait and try to make something else happen. So there's so many there's so many things to recommend this defense. I think that what you see right now, like, one of the things, just to put it in, I guess, simpler terms, is in high school ball you see quarters coverage a lot. And what the argument is that a defense is making when they run quarters coverage, which is four defensive backs dropping straight down the field, each guarding a 1/4 of the field, they are saying, quarterback, we don't think that you have it in you to put the ball in a tight window, knowing that you have a defensive back over every route.
Right.
And so what happens is you have to adjust and throw hitches, slants, things of that nature to draw that defense back up. But with this one, what goes on is I think it's even more deceptive, and that's why I think you're seeing it in college. They are trying to suffocate that zone between, right? It's not really I can't call it a zone because that would confuse people. I just want to say that space across the field between the deep safeties and the linebackers is when those linebackers retreat and those safeties are sitting there, that window gets tight and it forces you to look for something that you otherwise might not look for. And when Alabama, like, I want to go back to something that you said about that the switch that they run. You'll hear people the term that people will use a lot of times whenever the defensive backs switch receivers like that. You'll hear the term banjo because it's the concept of picking a banjo bluegrass style, like you're the fingers are moving, and all in tandem, but it's kind of a weird motion compared to a lot of stuff. I would almost say that, like, why you don't see any communication right here is that it is simply ingrained into
Mm-hmm.
Alabama's defensive backs that if they take a man across the field, we will switch him off. We will not be caught in that position where we have an easy hole shot pass to a guy because the man-to-man coverage is delayed in catching up to the receiver in motion.
Yep.
So I think that's why you don't see any communication there. Is that it's probably that is their base call. Is their base call is to switch, is have that banjo call where that I'm going to take the guy going outside, you're going to take the guy going inside, and we're going to have so much better leverage on them. And if you see this, like, whenever they're going down the field on those switch routes, they're going to end up getting right into the window where he's going to try to hit McConkey on the sideline. And I think that also affects the throw,
Mm-hmm.
in addition to, the linebackers dropping, the two safeties, the pressure of the defensive line. There's so many things working against Carson Beck right here that he just can't make this play. And I mean, you can't fault the guy. You really can't.
No, and what's even worse is the next play call, 3rd and 13. They're running cover 2 man again. I mean, it's coming, and they know it, and they run hitches and
Pick.
Brock Bowers up the seam with three guys.
Should have been a pick.
I mean, does Carson Beck have another route to throw to? I mean, not really.
No.
But you know, this is just a terrible play call. So you have a 5-yard hitch, you have a 10-yard hitch, you have a vert up the seam, and then a hitch on the outside, and then your running back is helping to block. You just can't win
it's a
with doing
send route
that.
to Bowers all the way. I mean,
Yeah.
you may as well just call it what it is. This is a one route play. You may as well call it what it is, because whenever you're running that, your thought is we're going to throw it to him. Well, you know what Alabama knows? They know you're going to throw it dead to him, and they're going to triple cover him.
Yeah, and if you roll it, you'll even get a better look of the other routes. But there's just no way you can run this play and succeed on 3rd and 13, especially knowing that you have Brock Bowers on your team and they're running a cover 2 man.
And you know, something that I would say too, and I don't know if we'll see it right here, but you see it in that in the first run through of this play. I want you to watch, and I know you could say, well, he's hurt and he's banged up and all this. I want you to look at Brock Bowers when he gets up from this play. That right there is a look of what the heck are we doing?
Yep, disgust.
Yeah, I honestly think that's what it is. I think it's like, what do you expect us to do? Like, this is not going to work. The defense, look at that. They have 4 people to your 3. It cannot work. And then watch that. As soon as that right safety sees that it's a one-man route, the corner's man-to-man, he all of a sudden starts going in and he takes the leverage from this side. There is no way this is going to work. No way. All that is the only call right there that you can make after that is thank you, Jesus. It's not an interception.
Yeah, and that's a bad 3 and out to have at the start of the game. You
Sure is.
lose good field position too because you're on the 10-yard line after that first down play. So, that's terrible.
I guarantee you, whenever they saw this from, whenever they saw this from the press box happening or the booth, whatever you want to call it, when they saw this taking place, I promise you that the Alabama defensive staff said, heck yeah, we know what we're doing. Everyone here at Locked In wants to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed to, liked, and commented on our channel. We've had a blast bringing great college football analysis to you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. If you want to share your thoughts, we'd love to see your comments. Till next time, stay locked in.